If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And I'll leave the window open, baby. Leave that key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to only for the night. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And I'll leave the window open, baby. Leave that key outside the door.
Go! There we go. We're live, folks. It's Wednesday yet again. It seems to come every dang week, doesn't it? So yeah, we got a decent show today, and kind of excited about it. A lot of Nintendo theme. And in case you are visiting us for the first time, or watching it as the recording later, the whole premise of the show is to watch the eBay auctions end that I put up every week, that I normally just watched alone, but I figured may as well share it live with my friends or whoever else wants to watch, right? Because putting stuff up on eBay always sounds like a fun, easy thing to do, but at the end of the day, it is actually quite a bit of work. And watching auctions end is always exciting because you don't know if someone's going to bid at the last seconds or not. So what we do is we watch this. Today we have a total of 16 auctions, and they start at 1 p.m., which is, 14 minutes from now? And we do 2 at a time. So we'll have 8 sections of auctions end. And so we'll round up the last auction ending at 1:21. Nice and simple show, right? So we'll see what ends up happening here. Also gives me a chance to talk like I pretend I'm talking to people at work, because this is kind of what I do right now. And I end up just kind of talking a whole bunch. But first, most importantly, we have to thank our sponsor, Mr. Nissan. Hey, look at that. Thank you, Mr. Nissan. The beer of choice today is a Summit IPA again. Got a little story with this guy here. It's another saga, but it's Sensation IPA this time. So, that's pretty exciting. So why don't we open this up and take our little sip. We can thank Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. You bought this beer. Yes. Who is Bonnie? Well, she is our lovely neighbor's mother. And hey, there you are. Hey, Mark, how you doing? And they had a couple of issues. My neighbor was traveling for work for the week, and gutters got clogged, and we had a lot of rain, so a little bit of water came in by their fireplace. I got on the roof, unclogged the gutters. And then I was mowing my lawn last Thursday. I look over there, and I'm like, the last thing he's going to want to do when he gets home is mow the lawn. And I have a big rider, and I'm like, this doesn't take that much effort, so I just went ahead and mowed his lawn for him. And Bonnie was so appreciative, because she was there helping a lot during the week, that she got me a 12-pack of Summit. How nice of her. Wasn't looking to get anything out of it. The funny part, too, is then, since I mowed the lawn that day, we went to Big Dog Thursday night with the Johnsons, and then our neighbor's wife with the kids were there, and she ended up picking up the liquor tab. So I cashed in twice on that lawn mowing. I should mow more people's lawns. That's the moral of the story there. I'm off work right now, but I don't... Oh, come on. Get a beer, Nate. You're so disappointing, I have to say. Interesting. Now, those of you who watched the show over the last couple weeks, I've been messing with my old Nintendo Switch. And I just keep, plugging it in, unplugging it, because it won't charge. And it finally took 100% charge. So I didn't have to replace the battery after all. The stripped screws that I had trouble getting out aren't really an issue anymore. So yeah. Now, I kind of modded that Switch at one point, and that's what I was kind of messing with. Like, I might make a new Nintendo account and activate and see if I would successfully remove the mod or not. Who knows? We'll see. So stupid, right? But yeah, most exciting. Well, why don't we get started here by let's look at what is going up for auction ending today, right? So we have Baseball Stars 2. This is our first auction ending and is at $20.50. Gosh, I'm burping already from the beers. Yeah, tough life I live, I tell you. Then we have Ghosts and Goblins from the NES. Is at $11.51. Bubble Bobble for Nintendo, $8.50. Super Mario Brothers 3, $12.50. Punch Out, $1.25. Are you kidding me? That's a crazy deal. I hope we got a little bit of room here. Let's get some bids in, hopefully, right? We got decent watchers on that, like 17 watchers on $1.25, 15 watchers on Ninja Gaiden at $3.25. Folks, you got to respect your Nintendo. There we go. Metroid at $15.50, 13 watchers. Contra Classic, $29.90, 23 watchers. Bases Loaded 4 at $31. It's a rare sports title. That's why it's higher. And we have, let's see here, the NES Rob the Robot gyro base, essentially. And this is a part that got the gyros spinning for Rob the Robot. So if somebody needed that, this would be a good find for him probably at $3.25. Then we have Disney DuckTales sitting at $15.50. Kid Icarus, $14.50. Then we have the Mega Man 2 sealed 30th anniversary at $89. And Castlevania for NES at $21.50. And last but not least, we have the NES Power Set that has the gun, the power pad, a controller, and the 3-game cartridge set for $86. That ain't so bad. While we're at it, let's look at what's going up as we talk, because these are all scheduled to launch as we're talking. I'll start from the top down. All right, so we got Fantasy Zone, The Maze for the Master System, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, Cloud Master for the Sega Master System, Metroid Prime being relisted, and we have a story, we'll talk about that later, because some jackwagon canceled his order after he won. I love these people sometimes. Then we had R-Type. Then this is kind of a unique item here. This plugs into your Sega Game Gear, and you can play Master System games. Good week to sell that when I'm selling a lot of Master System games. Then we have Ghostbusters for the Master System. We have a joystick, an original Sega Master System joystick for the Sega Master System. Monopoly. If you can't sleep one night this week, you got to go to my channel and you got to watch the Monopoly video. I played through the whole game of Monopoly and it takes me an hour and 20 minutes. And I'm like fast forwarding through it so fast. And it was actually, I had a really fun time shooting the video, but I doubt anybody ever watches the entire thing. So you could be the first to watch the whole thing. Hour and 20 minutes playing one game. Lovely, huh? Then we got the Sega Master System bundle here. We got the light gun, 2 games, and the system itself. Shinobi for Master System. Then we have a Sega Genesis version 1 console with, why can't I think of the name? Super Monaco GP. Super Monaco GP, right? Is that how you say it? I think it is. Then we have a very rare Sega Genesis Mini 2 that is brand new, unopened. And we have the NEC TurboGrafx 16 system. I am selling off my TurboGrafx 16 as I no longer have any games after I do it with the packing game that comes with Heath Courage. So, yeah, that's a pretty good lineup that's going to be popping up as we go. While we're on these screens, it's sometimes I think it's kind of fun to go check out. Let's do this in a new tab. What were the reviewers saying about us this week, huh? So we had the Borderlands go up. This guy said A++, fast shipping, great seller, would buy from again, yada yada. This is the Game Boy Color multi-cartridge. Everything is excellent, came quickly, very good condition as described, great price. Plays fine with no problems. Very satisfied with purchase. Thank you. That makes me happy. The Missile Command from New Wave Toys, awesome, thanks. Yes, yes. Xenoblades Chronicles 2 for the Nintendo Switch, item is described, very fast shipping, A++. Fire Emblem, Three Houses, great seller. And then we're jumping into previous week. So we got some actually good positive feedback this week. That's good. On a week where I don't know if I necessarily deserve positive feedback. I made some errors last week, and we'll kind of get into that here in a few minutes. But it was a kind of a dicey thing, and I feel kind of bad. I guess we have the time right now. Here's the first two auctions. We still have 5 minutes to go, but we'll just get them queued up on screen. You can see we got the Baseball Stars 2 at $20.50, and the Ghosts and Goblins for Nintendo sitting at $11.51. 9 watchers on Baseball Stars 2 and 12 on the Ghosts and Goblins. So what happened last week? Let's try to pull this apart. So the show ended. As usual, I start going through printing, shipping, labels, things like that right after the show ends for the people that have paid. But right away, I get a message that says, Metroid Prime's buyer canceled this order because he found a better price after he won. Well, at least he canceled it right away, so I'll give him kudos on that, but I've blocked him as a buyer now. I don't think it's right to go bidding on things and then I found something better after I've won. Yeah, that's not the way the game works, folks. And shame on eBay for letting you do that without getting a negative, but I know if you do it twice, you get put on the ban list for the major sellers, so people don't really understand that, so don't make that practice. So that happened, and got me just, you get that kind of thing in your head, and you're like, ooh, this is irking at me, right? So then I'm going through, get the labels, put them on boxes, and then I read a message about one of the games that the buyer had his old address in the eBay system and paid, and I already printed the shipping label and applied it to the package. So eBay, he tried to end up canceling the order then, but it wouldn't let him because it's technically been shipped. And I go, oh, let's see, what can I do? I'm going through my mind. You start diving through options in your head. Like, what can I possibly do to rectify this? And so eBay wanted me just to ship it. But I'm like, well, that isn't really fair to this individual. And what I did then is I went in and canceled the mailing label, which is kind of a tedious process, but you do it through eBay into USPS. So then it made it that the package was technically unshipped. But when I went to go do a new label, it won't let me change the address. eBay is really weird about that because I think a lot of people can hack someone's account, say, hey, my address changed, ship it here instead. Yeah, for obvious reasons. So I'm like, crud. And it's getting a little flustered with it, whatever. I'm trying to figure out things. I've been Googling for a while, just trying to look at other situations. That's where I learned about how eBay frowns on changing addresses. But I'm like, all right, let's just calm this down. I go, tell you what, I'm not going to get a lot through it today. Let me think about it overnight. And the buyer was very responsive back and forth with me. Very nice guy. And I get to the point that I'm like, well, what's this deal with this tomorrow morning? Because I'll see because he put his new address into his eBay account, but it was still showing his old on the label if I were to do it. So I thought, well, maybe it'll update overnight or something. He's like, okay, perfect. So then I get up, 6 something in the morning, and I try to do it. It still doesn't work. And I go, okay. Well, I sent him a decent message saying, like, here's the deal. I will go ahead and ship this third party, but it's Juneteenth today, so the post office is closed. So I was going to use Pirate Ship or something like that. It's a shipping service. And he said, that's great, thank you. And I went down to get it, and guess what I did? I shipped it with the outgoing mail already. I shipped it with a label that I requested to be refunded on and voided. So now I'm sitting there with this cold, sinking feeling. I'm like, what did I just do? So, message the buyer again. I go, you won't even believe this. This went with my outgoing mail yesterday, even though I voided out the label. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I said, if it comes back to me, which it probably will, I'm hoping it will anyway, I will go ahead and we'll cut a new label for it and ship it out to you. But it's possible it could still get shipped to the address because it takes USPS, whatever, 2 days. And in the process of this, eBay deleted out the tracking number, and I thought I had the right one, and I copy and pasted into the message, and it was the wrong one. So we were both looking at the wrong one the whole time. And, well, I'll tell you what, we'll continue this story in just a little bit here. So, because we're at the point of sniping on the first two auctions, which is always exciting, right? All right, here we go. We're going into Snipe Land right now. We got Baseball Stars 2 at 2050 and Ghosts and Goblins at 1151. A snipe is any bid within the last 20 seconds, we call it. So we have Baseball Stars 2 still at 2050. Ghosts and Goblins still 1151. Come on, folks. Let's get some bids in. 5 seconds. Are we going to get skunked? Last week I got skunked locked too. Is summer the wrong time to be selling? No snipes? I thought Nintendo games would bring in good snipes. Wow. There you go, Nate. Your favorite video. I don't want to watch that the whole day again. Well, this went from 850 to 1750 since we started the video. That's good. But we like the snipes. The snipes make the show more fun when they creep up at the end, right? But, you know, maybe it's because I'm getting more followers on eBay. I'm getting less snipes because people are seeing my stuff as it's posted. And I do have quite a few followers now, I feel anyway. And the YouTube channel does continue to grow slowly. We're at 119 subscribers. So I do appreciate everyone that has subscribed. But they're getting notifications, if they have the notifications on anyway, of all the games that I'm putting up. So regardless. All right, let's continue that story. So I give him the incorrect tracking number. And I've been following the incorrect tracking number then too. And it's like it keeps moving. I'm like, well, that's cool. And it looks like it's going to be delivered on Monday, it said. Well, anyway, he's gone kind of quiet. He said he's going to try to reach out to the U.S. mail and see if there's anything he can do. I reached out a little bit, but it looked challenging. It's like $19 to get something rerouted, and it isn't like guaranteed. I was like, well, auctions for like 30 some bucks, you know? So it's like, how much are we going to keep, you know, piling into this? Worst case I kept thinking is I'm going to have to end up giving this guy like a credit, right? But regardless, he then messages me on the day. It says it's delivered, but it went to Vermont instead of Georgia. And I went, huh? So I'm like, what the heck? So then I can't see the tracking in eBay. But then I went, oh, wait, my email would have it from when I first purchased the label. I first purchased it, and it was delivered on Saturday to the original address. So I send him that, and I go, oh my gosh, it was actually delivered Saturday. Here's the right tracking. I apologize. I'm sitting there going like, oh, this poor guy. You know, I know he made the initial first mistake, but I just kept making mistakes. And, you know, it's frustrating, right, when you make mistakes. And so, regardless, he pings me back later in the day, and I think what he said was he went to that other person's address that it was originally to, and they gave it to him. Or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing. So he got his game at the end of the day. So that worked out. But that's not the end of the story. We have 20 seconds. We're in Snipe Land again. We got Bubble Bobble, 1750. Super Mario 3 at 1450. Oh, I know, poor Eric. 1750 and 1450. Come on, no more of these non-snipes. Why have a show about snipes if we don't get snipes? This is sad. I might need to come up with a new snipe fail video. It used to be something special. I don't want to do that one. Something special we would get to watch, and it was kind of funny. Well, at least Punch Out went from $1.25 to $7.50. I mean, we're getting bids on stuff. They're going at reasonable prices. I just want some action on the snipes. Look at, went from 45 or whatever it was, to 1201. So they're bidding behind the scenes, just not in the last 20 seconds. Regardless. All right, so when it came to that game then, all said and done, all happy as a clam, okay? And getting lots of these bids up here now that delayed. My phone's going crazy. So then, oh wait, so rewind now. That was on, what was that, Monday or Tuesday or whatever it was, it all ended. Now rewind back to Friday. My last buyer finally paid. And I had 2 different lots up last week that ended. And one lot was for 7 Game Boy Advance games and 8 Game Gear games, Sega Game Gear. And the first part of the title I put for that lot of Game Boy Advance games was Sega Smash Pack. So I'm seeing a lot that says Sega, but it's really Nintendo. Dang you, Sega, for quit making systems and making games for other systems. Anyway, I put the label in the wrong box and shipped it. Originally. And on Friday, the last guy pays, and he's paying for the Game Gear games, and I have the Nintendo Game Boy games there. I'm like, oh my god. And this has always been my biggest fear. Punch-Out keeps rising, by the way. It's been my biggest fear is to cross ship it. And it happened. So I reached out first to the person with the Game Gear, and I said, I am so sorry. I shipped your package to someone else. I'll work with them, and if they'll send it back to me, I will send it to you right away. So you might get a little delay, and if I'm unable to get it back, I'll refund you in full. Which I think is probably fair, right? Let's continue the story, because now we're moving into Snipe Land. We'll continue it shortly here. All right, 20 seconds. Punch-Out's at $9.51, and Ninja Gaiden is at $12.01. Wow, $9.51 and $12.01. 10 seconds, no movement. Oh, we got our first snipe of 99 cents. $10.50 Punch-Out's at now. And Ninja Gaiden still sitting at $12.01, and that's all we got. Well, hot dang. Let's see, what can we do for that one? Why can't I see? I swear that my vision just keeps...
Wow!
Yes, wow, we got a 99-cent snipe. But it was a snipe. So stupid. All right, let's look at Metroid. Was at $15.50 when we started. It's up to $20.50. So, you know, we're getting these little gains. And then Contra is at $29.90, and it's still at $29.90. All right. So continuing the story, I reach out to the individual. You know, I tell them that, you know, I'm really sorry, I'll refund you in full. And they replied back very quickly, actually. And they said, completely understand, things happen. Just keep me posted. I'm like, wow, what a nice customer. Nice person, right? So then I reach out to the Game Boy guy. I said, hey, I accidentally send you the wrong lot. I'm going to send you out the correct lot today. If I sent you a shipping label, would you please attach it and send it back to the U.S. mail so I can get it to the right customer? And they replied back, believe it or not, right away almost, sure, that's not a problem. I get it. These things happen. I go, wow, another great guy. So then I replied back right away, and I said, can I, because I went to Pirate Ship, and it's like, because eBay won't let me send a PDF. You can only send real photos. And I wanted it to be a PDF of the shipping label because I was going to go through Pirate Ship. And it wouldn't let me do it. So I go, could you give me your actual email address possibly so I could send you, you know, the label, because eBay won't let me do it through their messenger. And he didn't reply. I'm like, well, okay. Well, he hasn't got the package yet. I'm watching the tracking on it, right? And finally, the day that he gets the package, which I think was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. He replies back with the email address, actually, and goes, hey, I got the package today. I haven't opened it. I think it's the one. I go, well, it should have this tracking number on it. And I sent him a long email, whatever, thanking him again. And he said he'll take care of it. So I haven't had a chance yet to go check the tracking on the computer upstairs, because that's where I have the page open still for it. But, so then I messaged the other person, said, and I'm having him ship it directly to the other customer just to try to save time. And hopefully it all goes through. So we'll see. And they said, thanks for keeping me updated too. So everybody's good. All right, snipe time, 20 seconds. Metroid 2050. And we got Contra 2990. Whew, what a day. 2050, 2990. It's a nice decent beer, I'll tell you. 2050 and 2990. 5 seconds. 14 watchers, 23 watchers. 2050, 20. Oh my gosh, Nate Olmanson. Maybe we should just play the whole movie of Mac and Me. Oh man, feels like pretty much spent enough time watching that clip now. All right, bases loaded 4. Start at 31, up to 55. That's a nice surprise. That's actually a very good price for that game. I'm happy with that. And then Rob the Robot, 325, still at 325. The weird part has one watcher on the Rob the Robot. This is a very niche person that would need this. For anything, it has the battery cover on it. So if they're missing the battery cover for this part, they could get one, I guess, right? How much are you willing to pay for a battery cover? Yeah, you know, I think you're right, Nate. You think he would learn. But I have a show I started watching again recently. Or, and again, I never really ever watched it because I used to make fun of people who watch this show. And it's Baywatch. Baywatch is quality programming. No lie. And if you don't have a good way to watch, if you own a Roku, just go to the free channels in Roku. It's in the default app. It's on the home screen. And they have a channel on there that just plays Baywatch in HD, converted up to HD, 24 hours a day. And it is some quality programming. And there's a scene where the guy like jumped out or fell off the cliff. And my wife and I were watching it together. What leads me to believe she was a huge Baywatch watcher because every time the theme song plays, she knows every word. Anyway, with that, I should look for that clip and see if I can put that in maybe as another snipe fail. But we'll see. I think I need more snipe fail videos now than actual snipes, the way things have been going lately with sniping. But regardless. So, here's the whole end of the story with the whole eBay thing last week is it seems like everything's kind of falling in place as it should. I obviously need to work on paying more attention when I get flustered that I don't make errors. And there's good faith and there's good people out there buying stuff on eBay too. Not everybody is out there to try to scam you to get the buck. What they're really out there to get is the product they ordered. And they want it as fast as they can and as good a quality. So my goal is always to show the product off as well as I can and make sure they get a timely manner. All right, so here we go. Snipe time. $55 for bases loaded 4 and Rob the Robot $3.25. All right, we're down the last 10 seconds. 55 and 325. Don't hassle the Hoff. You're right, Stace. All right. Oh, we got a snipe on Rob. Look at that. $10.49 and a snipe came in last second here on bases loaded. Oh, that feels good. I think, you know what that means? We have to do my favorite snipe. I love that video. I don't know what it is. All right, where are we at? We need to go on to Disney's DuckTales. Is at $15.50. Still at $15.50. 12 watchers. And we have Kid Icarus is at $14.50 and still at $14.50. All right. 2 auctions, both exactly at 12 watchers. That should be some sort of omen, I guess. Who knows? It is what it is, and it is, and it is. But it is good. So last week, after the show then too, we ended up not going to Big Dog, and we played Golden Tee in the garage. And I finally got that moved out to the garage, and the garage is cleaned up enough to play. And so we had 4 of us playing 4-player. We had Stump, Mike, and Mark, and myself playing. And that Golden Tee setup I have in there is actually as close to being the real Golden Tee as possible, I think, at this point. And so I have a Hap trackball in there, 3-inch, with a 99 Lives mod to put on to the Arcade 1-Up XL, which makes it more of a full size, at a fraction of the weight of the real arcade. 19-inch LCD in there, of course, and running Techno Parrot. I think I have 2018 now Golden Tee in there, which is the more current version. You got the forward roll, backspin, fly to the hole, more courses. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff, and it's a lot of fun to play. So I think that's what we're planning to do again tonight. It's going to be raining out, and playing some Golden Tee and drinking cans of beer can be fun, because I ended up going to Big Dog last night on a whim. So don't really need to go there again today, if that makes sense. So it'll be fun. Oliver came running from the office room when he heard the snipe, hoping it was Saxman. Oh, we're in snipe time right now. DuckTales are at 15 seconds, 15:50, and Kid Icarus at 14:50. We only have 10 seconds to go. No movement, 15:50, 14:50. What could possibly happen? 3 seconds to go, 15:50 and 14:50. I'll tell Oliver he can watch this. Oof. Tell Oliver I think he looks like Mac in that. All right, next two. What do we got here? We got the Mega Man 2 30th collection. Started at 89, still at 89 with 15 watchers. All right, let's see if I... Sometimes they're hard to line up the way I want them. All right, so we have that, and Castlevania at 21.50. Oh, it moved up to 24. So we're sitting pretty decent here. Good stuff, I tell you. But yeah, no, the Golden Tee is a lot of fun. It really is. And I picked up a new game on Steam this week, because the arcade in the garage has really come a long way, my Street Fighter, now that I put in that pack. I put in an iPack 4, but did the firmware to make it 2x inputs. And I'm telling you what, that thing runs nice. You'd rather see the sax. You know what? So would I, Nate. I'd rather see the sax too. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see. Maybe we can play the sax again here. Who knows? But so I picked up Mortal Kombat 1, which isn't the first Mortal Kombat. It's the latest Mortal Kombat, if that makes sense. And it takes quite a bit of PC power to run. Now, it says the minimum requirements on Steam is a 2060 GPU, and my big arcade in the basement's only a 1660, but it's a TI, so it's bumped up. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be okay. And then in the garage, my Street Fighter that has a 2660 Super, so it's actually a hair better than what the minimum requirement is. But the monitor in the garage is only a 1080p. And let me tell you, it just sings. I have it on ultra high graphics for 1080, right? But it's running full 60 frames, no problems, and it's just beautiful. And it's a lot of fun to play. I'm actually enjoying it. I felt like Mortal Kombat somehow became like a button masher game over the years, where it used to be so technical, but now I'm starting to see the technical. I mean, it's a good game, and I got Sanwa joystick in there, and I'm just loving life. All right, here we go. We're at snipe time. Mega Man 2, 89. Castlevania still 24. What could possibly happen next? Was Castlevania 21 before? I can't remember. We got more watchers all set on both of them. Remember, it was 12 and 12. It's 15 and 14. All right. Anyway, Mega Man still 89. Castlevania 24. 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on. No Sax Man for Oliver. Oh, wait. We did get $1. We got $1. So we can do the Sax Man. Here, we'll do that. All right. I hope you enjoyed that, Nate. All right. We're coming on to our final auction of the day. Still at $86. It's a big fun pack for the whole family. You get Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and the world-class whatever track and field game, whatever it is. Power Pad, the light gun, the original power pack, the original RF module, and a controller. Oh, for the amazing price of $86. So we'll see what happens. So we got a minute and 50 seconds to go on that. One more quick story. I love telling stories, apparently, right? Makes the time go by, guys. When I was at the post office last week after the show, making all those errors, a police officer came in behind me in line, in full gear or whatever. And I had been working on trying to get this pontoon moved on the street next to us because I think it's a hazard and they're kind of assholes too, to be honest. Because they put speed bumps on the street and it's a through street. And I get it. It's your street's kind of busy and you got kids, but you don't park big things beside your place because the kids bump out and it's dangerous. Just is, okay? And just because you got power and you're the police, assistant fire chief, doesn't mean that you get to have cop friends and get to park your 24-foot pontoon on the street all summer long. I'd still have a fish house potentially if I could park it on the street all year. But regardless, I had called the cops on it before, not the cops, but the non-emergency line, and they said they'd chalk it, but they never did. We got friends, right? So then that cop at the post office, I left after, I shipped my stuff, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go back in there. I went back in and said, and the officer just finishing, I'm like, do you mind if I chat with you for a second outside? And I kind of told him, like, I don't know, I'm just looking for more advice who to complain to because, just because they're friends doesn't mean you get to do things illegal. And he goes, well, I'll chalk it right now for you. So he chalked it, and guess what? Pontoons moved. All right, we're in Snipe Land. $86 to the NES. This is the last one. Come on, please give us a snipe. Please. Let's have some fun. I'd like a couple extra bucks. 6 seconds, no movement. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Oh, we got a snipe of $5. Hallelujah. $5 snipe. Let's see here. Well, we'll just do that one's dumb. My brother makes fun of me when I play that one. We'll do an oldie but a goodie. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Make sure to check out the videos this week on the channel, especially the Monopoly one. Hour and 20 minutes. We'll never put you to sleep more fast than that. All right. You have yourself a fantastic day.